Alright, so in this video, I'm going to break down the three elements of guitar playing and music theory in general, which is the keys, chords, and notes. How each one may or may not pertain to my guitar playing. Do I need to know any of this to be able to play the guitar? All these questions answered, but more importantly, I'm going to show you how easy it is to know what chords belong in what key and what notes belong in what chords. You'll be amazed how easy it is. All right, here we go. All right, let's start with the keys. Now there are keys from A to G. So key of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then there are keys of like the key of A minor, the key of B flat, the key of B flat. I mean, there's keys for all over the place. But they all work the same way. And what a key is a family or group of chords that share a common thing, attribute, in that they all sound good together in no matter what order you play them. Now there's seven chords in a key. We number those chords 1 to 7 depending on what key we're in. So all that means is that if we're in the key of A, then A is the 1 chord, B is the 2 chord, C is the 3, and it goes all the way to 7 and repeats. So now we're at A again, but it's an octave higher, right? So following that guideline, all right, that is what we make chord progressions from. So for example, the 1, the 4, and the 5 chord of any key are always major chords. Okay, so that means in the key of C, the C is a C major, the F, because that's the 5, C, D, E, F, the 4, sorry. The 4 is a major, and the 5 is a major, which would be G. So that means C, F, G are the major chords in that key. Every other chord is minor, and that is the same rule for all the chords. So what that means is when I do my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, C is 1, that's a major. 2 would be D, right? Okay, but it's not a major, so it's automatically a minor. So the chords in the key of C would be C major. Now we know there's a D, but it's not a 1, 4, 5, so it's going to be D minor. The third one is an E, but it's not major, so it's going to be an E minor. The F is going to be major because it's 4, and the G is major because it's 5. So the 6 would be A, that would be A minor. Okay? And the 7th is what's called a diminished chord. We don't worry about it. And I really mean that. We don't, at this level, we don't need it. So, and that would be B diminished, right? Now, following that logic, right? When we write songs, we write them using any of those keys or chords in that key. So let me give an example. C, C, E minor, C, G, C. All right? Now, that was just using the chords that was just off the top of my head. Now, it could have gone like this. It could have gone, we could have started on E minor. Now, we're in the key of C, but we're starting on E minor, right? So we're starting on the C, D, we're starting on the 3rd chord of the key. And we know it's a minor because it's not 1, 4, or 5. So even though it's in, you'll see this a lot, the first, it's in the key of C, but the first chord is in E minor. It might go to an A minor. Okay, there's your C, D minor, G. Now, the reason I did that was to show you that in any order we play, we could take just 2 or 3 of those chords, we could play all 6 of them, or even the diminished one as well, in any order, and it'll sound like cool. Like it'll sound good. And then it's a matter of finding that combination that, well, sells a million records, right? So if you were to analyze Ed Sheeran songs, let's go back in the day, Ozzy Osbourne, Kiss, Guns N' Roses, if you analyze their songs, you'll see they're made up of chords from within the same key. It's just a matter of what order are they in, okay? So do I need to know any of this in order to play guitar or continue on in my guitar journey? Well, really you don't, as long as you're willing to accept the fact that you're always going to be dependent on someone else to tell you what to play and what to do, whether it be a chord sheet from the internet or whoever you're playing with. But if you can simply learn that numbering system of the chords, now you can go and transpose things, right? Remember the transposing video? You can do that. You can write songs because you'll know what chords are appropriate to use. You can easily find chords that are in a key of a song that's playing on the radio because you only have really 6 choices. You have the number 1 chord and the other 6 to guess which combination that they're playing. So the answer is no, but knowing this will definitely make you a better guitar player moving forward. All right, that brings us to the notes, right? This is the fun part because this is where, we're all trying to push our guitar knowledge and capabilities. And one way to do that is to start playing notes so that you can play, accoutrements, play along to people, you can play solos and lead guitar and all that kind of stuff. All right, so it's important to remember there's a consistency here to learning this stuff. Just like we numbered in order, alphabetical and numerical, the chords within a key, we also do the same for the notes within a chord. All right? And it's the exact same formula. So, based on the major scale, if we have the key of A, our first chord in that key would be the A chord. And thus the first note to make up our A chord would be an A, right? The second note would be B. The third, C. You see what I'm saying? D, E, F, G. Back to the A, which would be an octave higher. So we do the exact same thing. And where the chords, the 1, the 4, and the 5, whatever chords in that key fall on the 1, 4, or 5, are always major chords. G major, F major, C major, okay? Everyone else is a minor. Now, when we deal with notes, we don't worry about minors, but we are concerned about sharps and flats. So the formula, right, is whole step, half step, whole step, right? So that means whole step is 2 frets on the guitar, half step is 1. So let's see how that all translates to a guitar. So we're key of A, we're A chord, all right? And now we're going to want to play notes to someone who's playing an A chord, right? That's the guitar partner that we're playing with. Or, okay, so they might be playing it here. And you want to play along. So the first thing you want to do, find the A note, because that's the number 1 note, right? So the A note would be right here. Now, we could choose this one here. We could choose this one here, but a little more on that after. Let's just, for simplicity, we'll just start from the top. So there's our A, okay? Now, we go up a whole step, which is 2 frets on the guitar, because we know our second note is a B, right? A, B. So 2 frets on the guitar is our B. So we play A and B, A and B, A and B. Those, if we just did this while our partner just did this, or whatever, played it here, that would all sound cool. It'd be very, very elementary and basic, but it would sound okay. So let's look for the third note. So we know that the first is 2 steps, A to B, and then we got to go 2 steps again. So B to C is 1 step because there's no sharp. So we'd have to go to C sharp. So A, 2 frets up to B, there's your second note. Your third note is 2 more frets up. That's a C sharp, okay? Now, we could keep going to play out this scale all on the same string, but it's hard to play because you start playing notes in different orders and you're up and down the same string, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find this note somewhere else. So there's the A, there's the B. Now if we go right here, there's our C sharp on the string below, right? So we have A, B, C sharp. Now in our formula, the next one is 1, half a step. We only go up 1. So that's a D. So now we have A, B, C sharp, and D. We can play all those notes while my partner's doing this, right? So we could go right? We could do that all day and it will just sound just fine over that A chord, okay? So to keep going, the next part of the formula, right? We got to go up 2 more frets. The next note is an E, right? And we have to go up on the guitar to get to an E, 2 frets. So there's our E. So now we have A, B, C sharp, D, and E, right? Now we need 2 more frets. So E to F is 1 because there's no sharp between B and E. And then we got to go to F sharp. So from the E, we got to find an F sharp. And our F sharp is right here, okay? There's our F sharp here. Now again, we could have kept going, right? So there's our E. We could have taken this F sharp here. And when you're soloing, you can do that. But as far as keeping to the structure of a scale, we're going to take this F sharp here, okay? And then our last note is up 2 more, and that would be our G sharp. And there's our A, octave, higher than where we started. Right? So that's how that all plays out. And when you look at it, by golly, what do you have? Well, you have the A major scale. A, B, C, D, E. Okay? So that's the relationship between a scale and notes. So if we want to know what the notes are in the G scale, for example, right? The G major scale, we do the exact same thing. We go find a G. There's number 1. And we go get number 2, which is going to be A. There's our A. So we have G, A. And our next one is going to be B, because it's up 2 more. And there's a B here. So we have C, B. Then we go up 1 to C, 2 to D. Exact same formula, but we're in G now. So now our scale becomes G, A, B, C, D. Or we could play it, I don't know, here. G, A, B, C, D. Or we could play it here. Right, here's a G here. G, A, B, C, D. G, A, B, C, D. Anywhere there's a G, right? And enough strings to play. So you're not confined. When you're playing guitar, you don't have to play the A major scale right here, where they tell you in the book. You don't have to do that. You can go to any A and play that same shape off of the A. All right? So the only caveat to that rule is you got to remember when you cross the border from the thick brown strings to the thin silver strings, those bottom 2, they're on their own island. And there's a border in between. And when you cross either way, you're going to have to move over 1 fret. So in other words, right here is a G. Right under it is a C. Right under it is an F. The same theory here. There's my G. There's my C. But that's not my F because I've crossed the border. So my F is now 1 fret higher right there. It's just the way the guitar is tuned. You see, so you've just developed, you've just put the major scale and connected it with a series of notes to the A chord. So when we're playing our guitar, the most important thing we have to remember is if the chords are G, A, D, let's say, okay? Well, we know the notes of G are G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, okay? And the notes of A are A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And the notes of D are D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You see what's happening? They're the same notes. That's why over a solo of a chord progression that's in the same key, from chords in the same key, we can play the same notes over all of those chords, and they're going to sound good. The only trick is matching the note with the chord to really sound good. So in other words, when the chord changes from, say, G to C, you want your note picking to go from chord or from note G to C. In between, you can do what you want, but as soon as he goes to that G, you want to hit the G note. As soon as they go to the C, you want to hit the C note. And the D, you want to hit the D note. Okay? So it's what notes to play is the easy part. It becomes then how to play them. But you cannot play a bad note. Just like you can't play a bad chord within a key. Of all the 7 chords, you play them in any order, they're going to sound okay. Sounds good. Some even amazing. Same with the notes. You can play any of those 7 notes while Buddy is playing his A and his whatever other chord from that key he's playing, right? It could be, a B or whatever, whatever chord he's playing. You can play over that with any of those notes, and they'll sound good, but some will sound better than others. So I hope this really helps. And it is not hard. I was shown this, I don't know, 9, 10 times, okay? But on the 16th time that someone showed it to me in a different way, boom. And it wasn't a coincidence that when I got it, all right? And it's one of those things that once you see it, you cannot unsee this. Like, this is just amazing, all right? So it's one of those deals. And once that happened, it's not a coincidence that it was way down my guitar journey. Like, I did not understand any of this in my first couple of years. I just played chords. I just learned chords, Googled them, and that's it. So don't worry about it. You'll know. You'll know when you're ready to take this in. But that's how easy it is. I hope this helps, right? And just like always, thank you so much for your support. Watch for my lives. It's a great chance for you to jump in and ask me questions based on the videos that you're seeing. Plus sometimes, I'll give out, we'll do a sort of a lesson or something along those lines or whatever you want to call it. So check out for those. My community tab is the place to go to find out when I'm live again. All right? See you later. And remember, just play your guitar.